Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lugness Monster, and this is my review of the Star Wars The Black Series, Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader. This is a brand new figure, and I cannot wait to get it open for you guys. So, looking at the package here, this is the nice Return of the Jedi card back based off of the original Kenner figure. Flipping around to the back, we actually do have the case assortment, so that is pretty cool. Not a whole lot going on with the packaging other than that, so let's go ahead, crack this guy open, and take a closer look. Alrighty, so we have Vader out of the box, and I gotta say, just straight out of the box, this guy looks incredible. He does reuse most of the Empire Strikes Back body, which is really good because it's a great body. It does have butterfly joints, but it does have a few new pieces here and there, especially with the helmet, and I gotta say, where these new pieces are, it really shines and it stands out. So, loving how this guy looks, especially with all of his accessories, 2 helmet pieces, an extra hand, and a lightsaber. This is probably the best Darth Vader we've ever gotten in the line, but let's go ahead and take a deeper look and see everything that this figure has to offer. So first up, I just want to take a look at this face. This face is incredible. It is based off of the actor that actually does play Vader in the suit at the end of Return of the Jedi, so it is not Hayden Christensen, and I really like that. I think that's a great choice for this version of the figure, and I gotta say, this head really shines, and in a good way because it doesn't have the shiny effect that a lot of the other Black Series figures have. This one in person looks super matte and super nice. The shine picks up a little bit on camera, but in person you can't really see it. And I just want to take a moment to appreciate all of the sculpting and paint that went into this face because it does look incredible. But I think the $1 million question here is how well do the different helmet pieces fit onto Vader? And that's the main thing we're going to test right now. So we're just going to go ahead and go for it and try our best. I'm not sure exactly how this is supposed to fit on, but we're going to see what we can do here to get it to fit on. Okay, so I gotta say, I messed around for about 5-6 minutes on this helmet, and there are 2 little grooves on each side of the helmet as well as the front that this thing is supposed to stick into, and it just does not want to stay in there, which is a little unfortunate. It just doesn't want to lock in, and I'm having a lot of trouble with it. But here's what it looks like from the back with the helmet on. Now let's go ahead and get the top piece on. And for the top piece, I'm guessing it just slides right on like that. It actually sticks onto this thing pretty well, which I like. But unfortunately, like I said, it is kind of hard to get the bottom piece aligned perfectly onto the mask piece there. But I will say you can actually pop this neck piece off if you pop the head off. And with the head off, this front face thing here fits on quite nicely. So I think the head is just a little too fat in some places for this thing to fit perfectly flush. And it doesn't stay perfect. It'll kind of hold on, but like I said, it's not the best hold you'll ever get. And with the helmet on here, there is a little bit of a slight gap, but it's not too bad. Is it the best Darth Vader sculpt? Absolutely not. I think if you want a good-looking helmeted Vader, you gotta go with the Empire Strikes Back version, but this one with the feature to take off the helmet, it's pretty cool, and I think that's worth picking this one up. Now, as far as the swappable hand goes, I love the detail that went into this thing. It looks really nice. I love the metallic-y, like it's cut, like it's a robot hand that's been cut, and I think it really gets that job done. And I do like where they added the change here. They added it at the glove rather than the wrist, and so it's pretty much a seamless transition here, as well as you still get the articulation of the wrist. On some previous Vaders, it was at the wrist rather than the glove, and you pretty much lost all of that articulation. And of course, you can get him into some super cool poses like this one here. Really love how this is turning out. Now, as far as articulation goes, his arms should be able to go all the way up, but it does look like the little cloth here on the inside does tend to get in the way just a little bit, but it can go all the way around, which is nice. And of course his elbows can get well past 90, and that's another big reason why the Empire Strikes Back mold is so much better than the than the New Hope version. So glad they reused that mold here. Now, one thing is interesting, he actually has 2 vertical hinges for the wrists on both sides here, whereas on the Empire Strikes Back version, he had a horizontal hinge at the wrist, and so that allows him to get into some like forced choking poses almost, and you can't really do that on this figure, which is kind of a shame. And as far as the legs go, it's the exact same as any of the other Vaders, so I'm not going to get too much into articulation there. And this is quite hard to see, but he does have butterfly joints in there as well, so you can definitely get some good posing with the lightsaber. Alrighty, so moving into the first comparison, we do have the Return of the Jedi Vader next to the Emperor and the Throne, and of course the brand new Return of the Jedi Luke. I will have a review out on him as soon as possible, so if it is already out, it'll be pinned in the card and linked in the description, so make sure to go check that one out if you do want to see a review on him. But they are looking great here together. This is one of my favorite duels in all of Star Wars, and it's really nice to be able to actually have this scene with the figures ready to go, and I really love how this turned out. Alrighty, next up for comparisons, we do have two different versions of Vader. On the right, we have the Empire Strikes Back version, and on the left, we have the Emperor's Wrath version, which does have the electric helmet, which I think is pretty cool. Now, this Vader is on a really old mold, and like I was mentioning before, this one does have the removable hand, but it is at the wrist, and so he loses all the articulation there. But he does have some nice paint there on the wrist, which gives it a nice kind of broken effect, but I do like the more metallic-y look of the new one better. And as far as these two Vaders go, they're very close together when it comes to quality. If you're looking for a Vader to stay helmeted and you only want the helmet to stay on, I think the Empire Strikes Back version is the way to go for you. But if you're looking for a lot more displayability with helmet on or off, or you're just looking for attention to detail with the amazing paint apps that went into this guy's face, the Return of the Jedi version is the way to go. Next up, we do have the Kenobi Vader on the left and the Grand Inquisitor on the right. And I gotta say, the Grand Inquisitor looks amazing next to this Vader. I love how the Inquisitors look, and standing next to Lord Vader, it just looks incredible. And on the left, obviously, like I said, is the Kenobi Vader, and that one is not a bad Vader, but the articulation is just nowhere near as good as this brand new Return of the Jedi version. So if you're looking for a Vader, I'd say kind of stay away from A New Hope or Kenobi, and go for Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. And continuing on that theme of Inquisitors, we do have Third Sister Reva on the left and the Fifth Brother on the right. And again, I said this before, but the Inquisitors look great next to Vader, and these two are no exception. And then last up for Inquisitors, we do have, I want to say the 8th or 9th sister. I don't even remember at this point. We have the brand new Kenobi Inquisitor on the left, and we do have the second sister on the right. Again, Inquisitors look great. Next up, we do have some Imperial troops with the Stormtrooper on the left, that is the standard Mandalorian trooper, and we do have the Scout Trooper on the right, that is the Return of the Jedi version. Both are looking incredible next to Vader. I love the contrast between the black and the white. Now for some Luke Skywalker comparisons, we do have the same figure I featured earlier, the Return of the Jedi version on the left, and we actually do have the Mandalorian version on the right. Both are looking good. These two are in the same mold with a few different pieces that are different, and I will do a full in-depth comparison in my Luke review if you do want to check that one out. And then just for some grins and giggles, we do have the Kenobi Purge Trooper on the left and the brand new Force Ghost Anakin on the right. Now you can definitely see a height difference between the two, and I'm not too concerned about that just because this dude's got robo legs, so obviously that is going to make him a little bit taller. So overall, I really love this figure. I'm so glad they decided to carry over the articulation from the Empire Strikes Back version. It adds a lot to this figure, plus the removable helmet. It's really, really nice, and I love the face sculpt underneath. The detail and the actual paint is great, and it looks really good. As far as the removable helmet itself, it's not the best. I think it gets the job done, and you can get it to look good if you display it on a shelf. But if this is for a kid who's actually going to play around with this thing, it might not be your first choice in Vader because that helmet is going to get lost. It does not want to stay on. If it takes a shelf dive, that helmet is going to go halfway across the room. But I do love the removable hand. That's a really cool gimmick, and I do like that they included it, because it is a pretty big part of the movie there when he gets his hand cut off, so I do really like the fact that they decided to include that. And overall, I think it's a pretty solid figure. I think I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. I'm going to dock just half a point for the helmet there. It's not the best, but it gets the job done, and it still looks good when you put it on display, so I'm not going to dock too much. But overall, if you guys did enjoy, hit the like button and subscribe. And if you guys do want to go check out my other reviews, they'll be up as soon as possible, so I'll see you guys in the next video.